What's going on, Gideonstactical crew? Hope you guys are well. Happy Father's Day to all you amazing dads. And we're here on our father-son annual backpacking trip, me with the boys and my buddy and his son, having a great time hiking in and just enjoying creation. And when you're hiking in your kids' gear, every ounce matters. That's why I'm really looking forward to today's video, because we're going to be taking a look at this fixed blade that I have attached right here to my chest rig, and it is a 511 SKYWEIGHT. Totally dig it. We're looking today at the Hogue Extrak XL in the Extrak Series. Now, I bought this several months ago, and it is designed as a skinning knife for you hunters. But right away, I saw great potential as a lightweight utility knife for us ultralight hikers and backpackers as well, because it comes in at under 3 ounces. And if you're a person like myself who likes to carry compact fixed blades in maybe the front of your pocket for EDC, because there are 2 different sizes and because it's so slim, it has a lot of capability and potential in that realm as well, along with M4 or Magna Cut steel, USA made. So much to get to today. And so we're gonna unpack what the capabilities and where I see this excelling, but there's also one area of use where I would not feel like this excels very well and I wouldn't use it in this type of application. So I'm gonna highlight what that is, some competitive options. We're just gonna have a blast on this Father's Day 2025 and just have some fun. If you're new to the channel, thanks for hanging with me. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. We're gonna head on back to the Blade Boot Camp, pack on up, and dive on in. So let's have some fun. Well, we made it back safe and sound. I've had a few days to recuperate, and we're gonna get into it. Man, look at that CPM M4, and look at the blade. I love the dart-esque-ness of the blade shape. I mean, it connected with me the first day I saw it when Hogue released this a few years back. So I've been eyeballing it from day one, because when you look at it compared to a lot of other camp knives, or just even, or excuse me, hunting knives, and even just general EDC, a lot of times they look like this, like the Steep Country from BENCHMADE, which is fine, but kind of boring, snooze fest. And we're gonna find out practicality. I mean, does it work? Maybe does it have hangups and just basic boring shapes make better sense? We're gonna find out, because this has a full flat grind with a ginormous swedge, some belly, but not as much belly. And this thing, get ready for it, the XL version is 0.11, less than an 1/8 of an inch thick on this guy, and the original version is 0.08, even thinner. So there were 3 reasons why I went with the XL version. First reason is that I like to get my blades as close to an 1/8 of an inch thick as possible. I have found that when they start going lower than that, they're excellent for slicing, but they kind of fall short in some other categories that we potentially are going to talk about. So that was the first reason that I wanted to go with that. Now, just look at the geometry, look at the piercing capability. Man, this thing is gonna stab. So you're looking for maybe, you know what, stay away from me type of roll, but also just piercing in general. It's gonna pierce. Now, it is not gonna pry. Do not pry with this thing. It is paper thin behind the tip right there. It just doesn't have the meat to pry, so be aware of that. But with the edge geometry, I went to town and it rips and roars through all kinds of material. Regardless if it's wood, you can absolutely fillet swing giant pieces of wood to shape if you need to, but hemp rope, cardboard, you name it. I mean, it was like listen to Motley Crue and like kickstarting my heart every single time I start using this thing. I mean, it's gonna go. Even, you know, say like whatever the material, you're on a backpacking trip and your kids make a rat's nest of their fishing line. That didn't happen on the trip, or maybe it did. I mean, it's gonna like bing, pop it right off the line and do what needs to be done. That's why I feel like it is such an excellent utility option for us looking for that, regardless if you're riding it in your pocket or regardless if you're carrying it on your chest rig and you're hiking through the woods. Now, here is one thing, and it kind of goes into the steel, CPM M4, that I noticed, and it was that now I test every blade here with the factory edge. I tell you if I have to reprofile or resharpen. All the testing you're seeing here was with the factory edge, including the fact that I had to saw on a tomato. Until I had to saw on a tomato, I was like, man, this edge is so great, I love it. It was doing everything I wanted it to do. But I was like, why is this I'm having to like go back and forth a little bit. I don't have to do that with the steep country and other blades like it. What is going on here? And I don't know on the microscopic level if there was just a slight rounding on the edge. So I said to myself, I'm going, because M4 will hold an excellent keen edge forever. And apparently this just wasn't quite keen enough. And so I said to myself, I'm gonna put kind of a toothy edge on it. So I use the coarse ceramic on my WorkSharp pocket sharpener, field sharpener. Can you field sharpen M4? Absolutely. And what I did was just kind of tooth it up a little bit, and then I just bumped it down ever so slightly with the strop. And now I don't even have to put pressure on it, and it like, I don't know, scalpels a tomato skin. I mean, goes right through it, limes, you name it. So there, you may find that you just need to run it on a ceramic rod ever so much. That might have just been my model. Maybe it was just like, whoop, the very last on the grinder when they were taking it off. I don't know. So it worked great, except for potentially meat processing, food preparation. You may need to run a ceramic rod on it and put a little bit of a toothier edge. Now, HRC is 62 to 64. Let's go. Regardless if you go with MagnaCut or M4. I just like M4 more. I wanted a blacked out blade for whatever reason. And I just don't need stainless because M4 is not a stainless steel. It is a high speed tool steel. And because of that, that's why I just like it. So there is the MagnaCut version if you do not want Cerakote, and if you prefer a stainless steel. They also, I'll try and run a screenshot if I screwed up, but it should be 64 to 62, or excuse me, 62 to 64 on the HRC as well for the MagnaCut. Leave a comment below of your preference, M4 or MagnaCut if you had to choose. And the fun fact is that there's not going to be a price difference, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. So that is the capabilities on every level. I am going to be using this in my kill kit when because I got a deer tag, my first deer tag ever in my life. So we'll be doing a follow-up video on the hunting side, but I just want to kind of give you an overall performance on the blade. Now there's a lot to get to. There's a lot of questions about the sheath specifically. They've gone through some renditions, ergonomics, and what's the one area where this does not excel compared to other blades and things like that. Now, just as important as it is to have the right blade on trail is also the right hydration system so you don't get dehydrated when you're exploring and having a great time in the outdoors. That's where today's sponsor comes into play, which is Hardside Hydration. Now, Dane and Dustin, the founders of this American-based company, have come up with a solution that I've been looking for years when I wanted to stay hydrated on trail, and it's giving us a hose that we can drink from easily that attaches to any of our favorite rigid water bottles. Regardless if you go with the original Swig rig that attaches to most Nalgene's and other bottles like that, but also the ultralight Swig rig, which can attach to any 28mm mouth water bottle like a Smart bottle. That way it's on the exterior of your pack. You can see your water levels. It's easier to refill, do the things that you need to, and it just makes it way easier to clean and maintain. Add to that they just recently released the Nano Water Filter. We've been wanting a streamlined, inline system for quite some time, and they have done just that. They have delivered this really simple system. You literally scoop up the dirty water and then have your Nano filter attached, screw it down, and start drinking. And guys, it's not like drinking a milkshake. I mean, it is fast flowing and able to now get water from whatever water sources you have around and stay hydrated even quicker and even faster. So I'm gonna have a link popping up as well as in the description box below over to the Hardside Hydration site. You guys can start exploring, seeing what capabilities, what features make the most sense for you so that you can stay hydrated when you're on trail and enjoying the great outdoors. Let's talk sheath options before we get to ergos. This is super cool. The Extrak, I guess, has gone through some different renditions. I bought this a few months back, so I believe, maybe there's old stocks floating around, so I can't guarantee, but I believe this is what you're gonna get. In the model I got, you get a sleeve with a hole that you could attach either on a belt, neck knife, whatever. This slims this knife down to 3 ounces for this blade, and the original, just the blade itself, is 1.9 ounces if you just go with the smaller original version. So I don't even know, like 2.5 ounces if you go with the original. So this is super cool if you're gonna be carrying it in a kit, or you wanna carry it as a neck knife, excellent in that regard as well, or like slim pocket carry for some reason, you wanna like wrap this around your belt, do a little lanyard hole, because you got the thumb ramp, boom, deploys, very easy. It's gonna be a little tricky, you know, just kind of slide it all back in there, but it holds tension around the change in geometry right there and around the guard, so there's a 2-point action and you can deploy it very quickly. This is a great little adaptation. I think more companies need to start doing something like this. Now, this is the current sheath that I believe all models come with. It is a pancake design. It is a polymer. I don't think it is Kydex. Definitely doesn't look like Kydex to me. So don't quote me on that, but that does not look like Kydex. So you have a bigger footprint. It is heavier in this format. The entire knife loadout is going to be 5.5 ounces when you carry it like this with the ulti-clip, all the attachments. This is a metal sleeve right here that's ambidextrous. You can float right or left. What's really cool is it comes with the ulti-clip and it pivots. That's how you saw me canter it. So you can pivot it, look how far, on either side, and then tighten down the Chicago screws and washers there, rubber washers, and really get it dialed into a canter that you want. You can easily deploy like that, even in a reverse grip. So again, for those of you maybe looking at it in a different roll, absolutely can do that. You can swap it right or left, or just take all this off. You can run it potentially through your belt. These slits, where's my ruler? 2-inch slits. So a 3 1/4 belt should be able to go through those. 1 3/4 inch belt should slide through there. You can do ulti-clips, blade tech locks, lots of stuff like that. There is not a drainage hole that I am seeing. That is one thing with especially with the M4. It might seep, but you might want to punch a hole if you're carrying the M4 there. Not too loud. So I mean, there's definitely some slaps, so just be aware of that if you are carrying it on your body, but I didn't hear it while we were hiking and things like that. So I think that's a good kind of update to what they had. Now, when we get to the handle, G10, excellent. They have a couple different color combinations too, including the stonewash on the Magna Cut, but you can then get like orange with black G10, and I think they have, I don't know if they have orange G10, I'm not sure about that, but check this out, 0.31. 0.31! Good luck, Spyderco, competing with those numbers of specs of thinness and sliceability. Wow, that is thin. Now the texture is definitely like old school cold steel, so you're gonna feel it. You got a little bit of crowning, but doesn't create a hot spot anywhere on there. And from guard to bird beak, which is what matters, we're looking at like, 3 3/4. The original version is 0.3 inches shorter overall handle dimensions, which means it's going to be like right there. And I just wanted a little extra space. So if you have knuckle spans of 3 1/4, which I do, that's what it's going to look like in your hand. You're going to have just a little bit of real estate. So the original version, you may be a little cramped or just there. So I just wanted a little extra real estate. That's me, that's my mileage. Great little scalloping right there for pull cuts, jimping, the guard. I am absolutely locked in for stabbing, but then caping, pull moves, but just general EDC. Now, this is the one drawback of this design in the one area. I would use it, like stay away from me, self-defense blade, absolutely could get that job done. General utility, EDC, game processing, food prep, all that, all those check the box. This is not a woodscraft knife. It will barely get the job done. I could get some basic feather sticks, no problem. You can absolutely shape wood if you had to. Putting your thumb on the back spine because of the jimp and the swedge, not ideal. It's not gonna be great for splitting or notching anything. So this is a utility knife, not a woodscraft knife or something you're gonna run with a big chopper. You're gonna want a bigger, fuller handle with a nice flat spine and potentially either lower grind or broader grind to help with certain woods working tasks. So that is the one area that this knife and all the blades I'm about to run in here do not excel at is woodscraft. Now, in the Rocky Mountains where I live, it's super dry, arid. The wood is not great for woods working. So it's just basic carving and cutting is what it can do, absolutely. But if you're gonna be like, I'm gonna carve a wood spirit around the campfire after we backpack or hunt in, you're not gonna be doing that with this knife. Go with something else that's more a dedicated bushcraft because of the things that I listed. But for concealability, carryability, slim, low profile, absolutely checks the boxes. And I just checked today, Blade HQ and probably some other guys have these on sale right now, the full-size version in Magna Cut or M4 for 180 bucks. Mind-boggling. 180 bucks, mind-boggling. I'll have links popping up in the description box below. That is what I paid for it. It was on sale. And then I think it's even cheaper currently for the original version. That is a crazy good deal for Hogue, the great HRCs that we know they do, 2 steel options, lots of sizes and color combinations. Excellent. How does that stack up? Okay, so now since we Talked about it earlier. Let's get this out of the way. The Steep Country, about the same price, $180. Now the handle is gonna be a little bit more comfortable, very rubberized, feels good. I thought those little bone bumps would be stupid, but I actually never really feel it. Again, full flat grind, very thin, designed as, you know, a hunting knife. Great for that, great for general utility and even pocket carry. S30V, snooze fest. S30V is fine, but M4 MagnaCut all day long, better for about the same cost. Here's one. I'm sorry, you know, like I appreciate everything that Montana Knife Company does, and they are doing some great stuff in the sense of bringing notoriety to hunting, American-made stuff. I have nothing against what they're doing. That, you know, and we just know value sometimes. And you get a great Kydex sheath, and I would say the Kydex is probably better than whatever polymer they're using with this, but it has a belt loop. You know, you have to get an ulti-clip. 52-100 is going to be about the same price, which is a great steal, but M4 MagnaCut, I'm going to take over that, especially in the size range, and it's just paracord wrap, no handle scale. And I think you have to go over 200 in to get, and this is the Stoned Goat. Great knife. I really like it. Very similar, kind of in concept and profile. But, you know, I mean, if you're going to ask me for all the attributes and for the cost, I'm going to go with the, what is it, Extrak. I was saying NTAC at some point. So, guys, that is it. Epic blade. I am in love. Carry it a bunch. And you're going to see this in regular rotation and other like competitive videos, things like that, because I think overall Hogue totally knocked it out of the park with the Extrak Series and especially in the XL. Leave a comment below if you own one. How has it been performing for you? What are your thoughts on this model and whether or not it makes sense for you? Again, all you dads, you're epic. Without you, society falls apart. Thank you for your commitment, your protection, your provision, and love to the children in your life. You are amazing. Keep up the good work. I pray God blesses you this Father's Day. Until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. See you out there.